So for next 10 minutes, we are opening to the floor for live question and answer. So everyone watching here in the YouTube channel, so please kindly type your astronomy questions in the chat right now, and our special guests and experts will select and pin your questions to answer. So everybody, do you have any questions? Please kindly type in their chatting channels, and we will pick some questions to answer. I mean, we will have the questions, and for the SV 5020, we will do it after the Q&A questions. Okay. 那个 pin 那个 questions。对，可以。Okay. This is from the Astronomy. The question for SETI and SETI Astro, and do you have the video more in depth about this topic?
I almost want to say which topic in particular. I have a plethora of videos on my YouTube channel, so I would recommend exploring that. Just searching down and seeing if any of that is what you're looking for. I have videos covering everything from the images I shoot, how I processed them, the science behind them, to just like a standard video showing what my rig setup looks like, to tutorials on how to process data. There's a lot of video content that I have out there covering a lot of this and a lot more math. I am a very technical person, so a lot of it may get even math heavy at times. You may just want to let that wash over you if you're not big into the equations, but there's a lot that I have. Oh, Jason.
So the SETI Astro has the Frank has a channel of the name is the SETI Astro, and he has shared a lot of the reviews for the astrophotography and also some software how to use it for like the pixels and a lot of softwares. And if you guys want to learn further more deep details about the processing, you can follow the SETI Astro's YouTube channel, and it's SETI Astro. And so another question is for small optics for Jason. And what's the best telescope to see planets? So Jason, can you share some experiences for this guy?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch the question. What was it about the planets?
Maybe he is referred to some of our common seeing planets for like the Saturn or Jupiter. This kinds.
Okay, well, I get it. What's the best way of viewing the planets? Is that a question? Well, the main thing is, one of the most important things that I probably didn't mention before, if you do have a reflecting type telescope, that dreaded word, collimation, it's so important that your telescope's in tune, because when we're viewing the planets, we're going to be using quite a lot of magnification, and it's no good piling on magnification if your telescope's out of collimation. Now, if you've bought your telescope and it's new and you've never collimated before and you think it may be in collimation, think again. Do a little bit of research. It's not as difficult as what you may first think. It's not. It really isn't. But it can be as complicated as you want to make it. Actually, you can actually collimate a telescope with your own two eyes. You don't need any tools. I'm not saying it's going to be absolutely spot on collimated, but you can certainly get it right. So that's the most important thing: is making sure that your telescope is in ship shape, and also follow all the little tips I've just said about acclimatizing your telescope. And another good thing about viewing the planets to get the best views from the black planets, and I'm sure Frank will agree with this, especially when it comes to photography, make sure they're not low down at the horizon. You always want to observe the planets when they're as high as they possibly can be. Again, when we're looking at things low at the horizon, we're looking through thick, dirty atmosphere. Straight up, the ideal place that we want to point our telescopes, but unfortunately, not all targets are there. So that is really important. And another little test as well that you can do with your own two eyes is make sure that the atmosphere is pretty stable. And you can do that by just observing how the stars are acting. What you want is a soft, undulating sort of pattern in the stars. If they're twinkling really, really fast, you know that the atmosphere is very unstable and you're not going to get very good views. So that's just another little tip just to point out that you can actually test the atmosphere just by looking at the stars. So I hope that's answered your question. I think that's what you asked me.
Yeah. And thank you for answers. And so let's see the next question. Next question, I think it's for Svbony. So the gap asks our question, Svbony, will you have a dual narrowband oxygen 3 and silicon 3? Yeah, we will soon, because we have a filter series for like the SV260, and it's a multi-band, and we have 220. It's a dual narrowband for hydrogen. Hydrogen and it's the oxygen. This dual narrowband filters, and soon we will have a series for the dual narrowband filters and for oxygen 3 and silicon 2, and we will soon have this series narrowband filters. Okay, let's go on. And also there's an open question for everyone. What's your favorite constellation and stars? So it's a very open question. So who will be first to share? Jason and Frank, you want to share about
I'll go first. The favorite constellation. Oh gosh, there's many. I think it has to be Cassiopeia. It was the first one I properly recognized as a kid. It has a lot of nostalgia to me, and I couldn't believe that. I think it was my dad pointed it out to me when I was a kid, and he didn't know what it was called. He just called it the Big W, like we all call it. So I think it has to be Cassiopeia, just for pure nostalgia reasons, really. Yeah. Cassiopeia, I think there's also a famous nebula in it. It's like there's some shape of like an eagle and something. Yeah, there's lots to see around Cassiopeia. It's quite an interesting constellation, and of course you can use Cassiopeia to point to the famous Andromeda galaxy as well. It's a good pointer, and this is where it goes back to where we're on about learning the constellations for the visual side of astronomy. There are signposts to the night sky. They're pointers to show you, and you can do with an old-fashioned technique called star hopping, but it's still just as good today as it were back then to find our way and navigate the way around the night sky. I always say it's a bit like being dropped into the middle of a city, a large city with no map and no compass. You're going to get lost, aren't you? So getting that little bit of knowledge is really, really going to help you. Okay. Thank you. And next question is for Christine and thoughts on astrophotography with Dobsons. So Frank, do you have something to share?
Yeah. Well, a Dobson's just a newt on a different base, but going back to planetary stuff, right? This is going to be a great opportunity for you to get good lunar imaging done, and then a lot of planetary work done, because you're going to be taking video instead of long exposures. So you could, it could drift a little in your field of view, and that's not going to affect anything. And then the other one you may have a fun time with is trying to get double stars. There's a couple really nice, differently colored binaries out there that are just stunning that you could do a very similar technique of just using video with a planetary camera to capture, and then you can get really nice, really stunning binary kind of shots with it.
Yeah. So for the Dobsons, it's more suitable for the planetary because it has a larger aperture size and the longer focal length, right?
That and they don't track. So you're going to be manually moving it and then letting your image float across the field of view because you don't want to really be touching it to try to. It just jitters too much, right? So you're going to set it up and take your image with that. It does help that they're huge light buckets with big focal lengths, but that is all the more. It's all the more necessary than to climatize the dang thing. You're going to have a bunch of tube currents in that big sucker, so you want to make sure that has been out for a while to cool down to the night sky. And again, to Jason's point, you want the object to be as overhead as possible with the Dobsonian as well as any other telescope.
Yeah. Okay, let's choose. Sorry. One more questions and let me check. So it's a still question for Frank. So Frank, are you planning on adding the satellite moon removal as a script onto the picking site?
If you're referring to cosmic clarity satellite removal, that already is a script in PixInsight. So yes, it's done. If you're referring to something else, then I don't know what else. But yes, that's already a script. It has to interface with cosmic clarity, so you do need to download that. But it's in there for satellite removal. I really don't recommend running it out of PixInsight though. It's better just to run it standalone. That way it doesn't tie up PixInsight because it's just a script in PixInsight. You don't need that program tied up monitoring a folder for you.
Okay, sure. And thanks again for Frank's answers. And there will be one more question for J.K. Chen. And I've noticed there are two purchase options for SV520. Do you recommend one of the with PL10 millimeters eyepiece? So I think this question is for Jason. Jason, you got the version of the SV520 and with the Astro eyepiece, the PL10 eyepiece. So what do you think?
Yeah, the 520. Well, I'm not sure because I know that you changed it a little bit round, and you do provide Plossels now. Now, according to that question, there's one that doesn't supply Plossels and one that does. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. I think that the 520 just come with a Kellner and a Plossel. To be honest with you, I would always recommend a Plossel over a Kellner. There's slightly better eyepieces. They'll give you a crisper image. But like I say, the Kellner that is provided with the 520 is of good quality as well. And with it only being a 25 millimeter, that's not going to be very demanding on any telescope. So it's usually just your higher powered eyepieces that you really want to think about upgrading first. Your lower power eyepieces, it doesn't really matter so much for them because, like I say, they're not as demanding on your telescope. But if you had to twist my arm, I would go for the Plossel.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think this one is for the big thank for Frank and for Jason's. And so we thank you so much for you guys for sharing. And we will go to next, and we will thanks again for to our special guest today's share. Thank you so much for time, especially for Jason. I know Jason right now the local time for UK is already 2. I think it's already. What's the time?
Yeah,
what's the time right now?
It's 3:43 a.m. at the minute.
Yeah,
in the UK.
it's so late. It's so late. And thank you so much, Jason.
I'm an astronomer. I'm used to it.
Early again. So
No, it's
go
been an
ahead.
absolute pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, for special for 2 guests to invite here again for this share so many things and techniques and tips, and let's give them our applause. Thanks again thank you, guys.